Alrighty, I'm Ez, and we got Azza from Heavy Mag, and we got the boys from Windwaker here. Do you want to introduce yourselves so that I'll
go first.
Yes.
I'm Liam. I sing for the band.
Yes.
I'm Indy, I play bass.
I'm Chris, I play drums and produce.
And you guys have already done the thing today.
You've done
the thing. How did it go?
The thing went well. No, it was a really good set.
It was as good as a really good thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good thing. It was, look, a great crowd, great response. It's the first time we've gotten to play a lot of new material. So, no, I couldn't ask for much more.
Yeah, awesome.
Great first run.
Yeah,
I'm
3
very
songs.
disappointed I missed it because I was up here.
Yeah, that's been the case with
We
most
just
of the press.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to lie and say, geez, you guys are crackers there. We were stuck here. We didn't see it.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I did, however, catch you guys. I will confess that I only went to the show because Caskets are my favourite band.
Yeah.
But instantly became a Windwaker fan. I'd listened to you guys before, but seeing you live was just another experience altogether.
That's good.
Incredible. It was an incredible show. So yeah.
We try to make our live show appealing in that sort of way. So yeah.
Yeah, there's bands that do it well, and then there's bands that smash it out of the park, and I feel like you guys are smashing it out of the park. So.
Unless you're cotton socks.
I did say to a friend of mine this morning, if you're going to check out anyone today, make sure you see Windwaker. So true story. Yeah, so and you guys have just released an EP.
6 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing the maths in my head before. I think it's 6 or 7. But yeah, tell me about that.
It's our new EP, Enter the Wall. It's a bit of a sampler of songs that we've released over the last, since Sirens really.
Yeah, since last July.
Last July. So it came out with 2 unheard songs last week, The Wall and Villain, which we debuted today, as well as Fractured State of Mind, which came out in February, and we opened with that today actually.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
all went really well. Kind of interesting getting to play those songs for and not having played them to a crowd before.
Yeah.
Straight into like a massive set.
Yeah.
Road testing new songs is always an
got
experience.
It's teething for sure.
Yeah, do you find that the fans are
I
latching
mean,
on?
We definitely noticed it with The Wall today, I reckon.
It's
And
a
the Wall
super
was
good
huge
song.
today,
Yeah, I cranked it a few times on the drive here. I come from country Victoria, so I had a bit of a drive ahead of me this morning,
Yeah.
and
What a
cranked
case.
it a few times. Can you tell us about the inspiration around The Wall and what it represents to you as a band?
Well, The Wall was something that the band had started before I'd rejoined as a vocalist, but it came from Jesse, our guitarist, who I think he might have been experimenting with a lot of hip hop and sample based sort of electronica.
Yes.
And by the time it kind of got to me, I was able to just kind of go buck wild on it.
Go
and
nuts,
yeah. To me, it's like a song about kind of paranoia. It's a bit of an abstract concept sort of song, but I just liked the idea of kind of encapsulating a moment that was I'm staring off into the void and my thoughts are kind of going into this weird, dark train of thought. So that's kind of where I was drawing the inspiration from with that, and just kind of letting the music kind of tell me the story as well. So, but I don't know if you guys have any.
I think it was a very big thing of trying to get all of the electronics in the song and the guitars to be one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So you can't tell what's a guitar, what's a sample, what's a synth. It all sort of mixes together
Tricky.
it all swaps in between, interchanges really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Stupidest song to play live.
Oh, it's just ridiculous
So it went
to
well
work
today,
out.
then.
It went really well,
It went
but
really well.
it's just the main riff is so ridiculous that Connor plays a few of the really high parts that are supposed to be
Bleeps and bloops,
the
which
bleeps
are
and
actually
bloops.
guitar sounds as well, but that aren't physically possible on a guitar.
They're sort of mixed in.
The songwriting process, I'm a musician myself, so I understand that it's a completely different ball game when you're in the writing space and the rehearsal room, and then you had to take it to a stage. You're like, oh, why did we do this?
Yeah,
Constantly
it's
writing.
always the rule. Though. The rule is you make the best song you can, and then you figure out how to
How
do
to
it
play
live
it.
later.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
You
we
don't-
definitely had to completely redo our live rig for these shows just so we could play the new material.
That's a question I've got. You're talking about the rehearsal room and whatever. And you've got your the gear that makes you comfortable and the sound that you're used to and all that. When you do shows at this scale, you often have to use different gear, smaller gear that you can travel around everywhere. What's it like walking out on stage? Are you sometimes dealing with like that? It doesn't sound anything like you used to, and you just got to put your head down and pretend it sounds the best ever, or if your stage sound's been pretty good? Or
I think we're pretty lucky.
Yeah, we're self-sufficient when it comes to the monitoring side of things. So like anything that we hear, we've got it saved, and it's the same every show.
That's great.
And for these shows, we'd been, we'd had I think about a 3 or 4 day block where we were just going at it, and we had crew come down, record the shows, make little adjustments.
Big pre-production schedule.
So when by the time it got to coming on stage today, it wasn't so much the technical stuff that was like, an adjustment to get used to. It was it was actually just kind of like the open air of being on a festival stage. I feel like Indy and I were talking about that after we got off. We're like, it's so different, what you're breathing in compared to inside at a venue.
Compared to no air
and
sweat.
Exactly.
You can't replicate it in a rehearsal studio.
Yes.
And even your in-ears as well. Your in-ear, you dial in your mix for your in-ear monitors, and then you get on stage and you realise that what you've dialed in is probably still good. But for me anyway, I always forget that during rehearsal I get the bleed from the drums.
Yeah,
in
you
my
just
ears.
get all of the drum
Yeah,
noise.
so I dial them all the way down in rehearsal, and then I get on stage and there's no drums in my in-ears, and I'm like, oh shit, where's the bass drum?
I'm going to have to make a similar adjustment after
Yeah.
today as well.
And back to the big shows things, I'm sure you've played a bunch of shows where you've had people standing on your pedal boards and people like that far away.
Yeah.
How do you go with seeing people 500 yards away? Like, can you still get the energy back, or is it a different thing?
It's a different thing, right? I feel like you're having to almost be even bigger, and because there's going to be a disconnect there otherwise. There's a great distance of a barrier and big drop down. So it's not even like I love to get up on a barrier and I get really close to people.
Yeah.
I look down on there, and I'm not scared of heights or nothing, but I don't want to bust a leg.
You'd have to pole vault down.
Exactly, and then getting back up is also the other issue. So.
We've all seen Dave Grohl fall off stage one too many times.
Exactly.
No one wants to be that guy.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you have played, stranger to festivals. You've played Download, Unify, Night and Day, and now KNOTFEST. What has been the most memorable festival experience, and how does it compare to your regular headlining shows?
Either of you guys can you think of anything?
I feel like our first festival was Download.
Yeah, I was
wasn't it?
going to say
that
the
was a
first
big
Download
moment.
one. Yeah, because we'd never done anything like that at that point, and we were the Triple J winners.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
to
That's
open
right,
it.
you
We
were
weren't-
too, yeah.
We weren't built on there.
that was a memorable experience just for the sake of it being so totally new for us at the time. We had Polaris side of stage.
Yeah,
we weren't that acquainted with at the time. There was new music then coming out that we were sort of road testing. But I reckon for me, my most memorable festival experience was playing that Thursday night AM/PM tent show.
Oh, Unify,
at
yeah.
Unify.
We headlined that one.
Yeah, we
Such a good
headlined
show.
it.
It was in the dark.
Unify, the name alone. I wanted to come back. Miss Unify.
Come back soon one day.
It's
But yeah.
just a different vibe.
Yeah.
Different vibe, yeah.
Did you catch any of the on the road Unifies?
No, I didn't,
I'm
unfortunately.
curious as to hear how they went.
I just didn't think it was the same.
No.
It just didn't have the same element to it.
Yeah.
So, the draw card for me was definitely the camping and the
That
several days.
is part of the experience,
Yeah.
right? Every time I go, I think about the campground
The
area,
chaos
the
of it
chaos
all.
of it. Exactly. Absolutely.
It's nothing but chaos. Oh, that must mean we're up to the box. So everyone's being subjected to my little box today.
Oh, cool.
And insert whatever innuendo you want here now, because everyone else has. Inserting things into the box. I've called it KNOTFEST because it is a bit of an adventure into I don't know what. The questions are very random and don't really relate to anything that you would think. So pick one.
For each?
No, just one
There you go.
for you, and you can all answer the one question.
How many chickens would it take to be able to kill a lion? These are good questions.
This is a really good question.
I've thought about this a lot.
I'm glad you have, because so have I, and that's why I wrote the question.
Yeah. Have you thought about this?
Yeah,
I'm
at
doing the
least-
math real
At
quick.
least 10,000.
10,000?
10,000? No. I reckon-
That's too many. You wouldn't even get to see the carnage.
I reckon 300. I'm gonna go 300. A
300.
bit like the gladiator.
I reckon
it's
the
less.
lion would.
You reckon it's
I
less?
reckon it's less. I reckon that it would take only about 20 chickens to kill a lion.
20 chickens.
Yeah.
Doesn't it
They just
I think
like,
you're
they-
cracked.
If
That's
they,
not
if they
alright.
overwhelmed them, and chickens can like hoverfly too, so they'd
So
be able to
they'd
get
be
on
like-
top of him.
Yeah.
A couple of them to distract the lion, and then the rest get on top. And
I
then
think
just-
you're forgetting that chickens aren't that intelligent.
Yeah, but they'd peck out the eyes
They're the
first.
fish of the land.
Yeah.
They also don't necessarily have to physically harm the lion themselves. They could herd that lion down a cliff or something.
Yeah, true.
Because all I was thinking of was like the picking at the eyes or something like that.
I think you're
Like,
thinking of crows, bro.
I'm thinking of crows or turkeys.
Yeah. Turkeys are
What
terrifying.
about one chicken with salmonella?
That's
Sorry,
Yeah,
it wasn't my question.
that's a
No,
way
these
So
are
if you see a
everybody's
lion,
questions.
just wait. You know,
seeing
so
a new
true.
dimension.
Yeah.
I feel like that
take out
wins.
100 lions.
I feel like that wins.
The lowest number wins.
It's not the funnest answer though,
No.
because I'd like to see a herd of chickens chasing a lion off
Yeah.
a
And the
cliff. I
lion,
feel
lion
like.
could still chase you until he got real sick.
Yeah.
They're pretty quick too. So.
When do we get to see this?
That's a crispy question.
You're Melbourne boys, aren't you?
Yeah.
I got a bunch of chickens. If you want to come over, we'll sort this out.
All right,
Alright.
you bring the chickens, I'll bring the lion.
All right. No worries.
And we just got to sort the lion out.
Yeah, we'll get.
Yeah.
We're close to the
Put
zoo.
a call
Yeah.
out.
We could get drunk and
So how many are we
get
bringing?
drunk.
steal one later, yeah?
Will it count if I put Connor in a lion suit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes,
Cool.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think that would be significantly easier to kill.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's more chances of the chickens winning.
And that's what we think of Connor.
All right.
Good on you.
Here, put this on, don't ask questions.
I know this is almost over, but what's it like being the Aussies in Australia, but you're kind of like the minority in this as far as...
Yeah, as far as international acts
Yeah.
go, I mean, I think it's quite humbling,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I think it's
This is our turf, man.
yeah, I know.
We know these grounds.
I
Yeah.
just think it's
love
exciting
it.
that we can represent our country in
Good
a
on you,
very
yeah.
international lineup.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I take away from that. is that
Yeah.
we
You feel at home with these crowds.
yes.
Well, I suppose you guys have probably been punters at
Well,
these
yeah.
sorts of things,
Yeah. There's
throughout the
bands here
years.
that we've been to festivals watching as teenagers and stuff.
I know we're pretty much out of time. This is a question that I'm really interested in, nerve-wise. Like, we're leading up to it. Is it running through your head and like fairly nervous, and now there's that relief, or like because you've done a few of these, it's sort of getting used to it, or is there no getting
I
used
was
to it?
texting Liam about this last night.
Yeah.
So we're trying to go to sleep.
That's
And
what I mean.
I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And I messaged Liam, and we were both saying like that. I was like, I'm actually really nervous for this.
Yeah.
Usually I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, because we've done shows,
Yeah.
so many shows. I don't even know how many shows.
Plenty
we've
of
done.
festivals.
You don't
too.
get to pick
Plenty
or
of
choose. It just
festivals.
happens all of a
just-
sudden.
yeah.
Oh no, now I'm freaking out.
Yeah, I was just freaking out. I couldn't sleep, so I just read a book for like
And
2
now?
hours. And now I feel great.
Great.
And I'm keen for Sydney and Brisbane. I'm good. Like,
Yeah, I feel like the first show's out of the way
first
now.
show's out of the way.
A relief, eh? That's,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah,
I've
it's-
always
it's
kind of,
amazing.
I've always thought of it as more of like an anxious excitement, but this time it was definitely like a bit more of the nerves,
Yeah.
just for at least the first show. And
Just a little nugget in your pants,
Yeah,
just
little-
a small one.
It was
yeah,
probably because we were playing new songs.
opening with a new
Yeah.
song,
Yeah.
playing
Yes.
a couple more new
3
ones.
songs we've
Yeah.
never played live
Yeah,
before.
Yeah.
So I asked one of the other bands about their nerves, and they sort of said, "No, man, we rehearsed and we know our songs." And I'm like, "Of course you know your songs and all that sort of stuff, but you can be nervous about." I know everything note perfect. I could do it in my sleep, but when I get out there and go, "All right, let's go," and you turn my amp on, the light's not going to come on. Like,
Yeah,
and like I said, I get nervous about equipment all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
you know,
equipment.
stuff out of your control.
And the more digital stuff you like
We got
pile
a
in.
lot of digital
Lot of
stuff.
digital stuff.
We got a lot of digital stuff. Yeah, that's what makes it nervous.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Good on you.
Keep,
Good on you
keep
for
us going
representing.
all
Thank you so
afternoon.
Doing well. Good on you, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your extra time.